we're going to have a true and honest conversation about our drug policies in the world, then we really have to start looking at this in terms of it being a community health issue. And if we're willing to do that, if we're willing to sort of look at ourselves and say, this has not worked, perhaps we need another idea or another strategy, then we can get to that conversation about how we're not only impacting our health, but also impacting our planet. So my name is Wayne Harris, and I am a retired Deputy Chief of Police from Rochester, New York. I've spent a little over 30 years with that department. I started as an intern working with youth gangs, progressed through the ranks, and walked out the door as the Deputy Chief of Community Relations and Engagement. I'm a former National Executive Board member for NOBLE, which is the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. I'm the current board chair for Law Enforcement Action Partnership. And I was just recently hired as the executive director for the initiative Advancing the Blue and Black Partnership, which has a couple of online platforms that are designed to bridge the gap between police and the communities that we serve.
Why should somebody concerned with climate change also be concerned about the war on drugs?
Well, first of all, the war on drugs has not worked because the concept of drugs is not necessarily just a criminal matter. Similar to property crime or the violence that's occurring in the streets of our cities, there are multiple factors that come into play that contribute to the levels of violence in a community. Similar with drug use and the illicit drug markets, it's never just a matter of crime. So unfortunately, we've always just focused our energies on addressing this through the criminal justice system, which, as you know, has resulted in the over-incarceration of people of color. It's really resulted in the proliferation of organized crime. But what we've done in the past has also included trying to change the climate. In other words, if we can't stop drugs from coming across the border, well, we'll just wipe out everything, as far as the plants that are grown in order to produce the drugs, which has, again, polluted our soil and just caused health issues all across the country.
Are there other mechanisms by which the drug war kind of influences the climate change policy environment?
Like everything, the issues that are facing our climate right now are impacting on so many different fronts that none of it exists in a silo. The concept of prohibition even is being considered for different things that are happening in our community. And my conversation to the people that will listen is, this is a strategy that has never worked for us. It's always generated more crime, more violence, and more addiction. So why are we continuing in a strategy that we know does not work? It's the same with what we've tried to do in the overall global war on drugs. The war on drugs doesn't just exist here in the United States, but it has consequences in Europe. It has consequences in Asia. And as we're working towards trying to figure this out, we can't expect that what we do over here won't impact what occurs over here. We have to start looking at this as more of a global problem. If you think about it in terms of the long game, then we are cutting off our noses to spite our face. And just so long as we continue to be willing to ignore what we're doing to our planet, so long as we're willing to say, yeah, we can fix that tomorrow, then we're going to continue to have these kind of problems. And it really is a vicious cycle when you consider that what we've tried to do has not effectively ended the concept of a drug problem on our planet at all. So why are we continuing to sort of focus our energies here?
What you were saying about, what we do here affects people over there kind of mirrors what happens with climate change as well, right? What we do here has impact over there as well. So I think both of those issues really do need to be looked at as a big global thing.
What we're talking about as far as interconnectivity is concerned was illustrated most effectively by COVID-19. But here a virus hit our planet, and it took 2 weeks to literally shut our entire planet down. If that can occur, the message that we should receive is that the borders that we've drawn don't mean a thing when we're talking about issues like climate change. They don't mean a thing when we're talking about global crime and issues that are impacting us all. And so long as we continue to sort of think of ourselves as existing individually and not, together with other human beings on this planet, then we're going to fail.
Yeah.